Hello my lovelies, and welcome back to Allotment of the Dead. So I thought today I would plant some of my beans up, and it's getting to that stage in the season where the last frost hopefully will be almost out of the way. I know a lot of people will be sowing their things like beans, runner beans, field beans, bush beans, all of those sort of things. I think they're going to be planting them directly into the ground. I usually generally start off with these container wise module trays. I plant them in there first. You've kind of got an idea which is going to germinate, which aren't, and then the different varieties potentially you can grow as well. You're able to know exactly where they are and where you're going to put them. I generally forget when I put them straight in the ground. I'm not 100% always certain of exactly what I've planted. They say label, 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 and I do, but sometimes labels, either the labels go missing because we've got magpies on the plot and they will pull the labels out the ground, or I'll use the wrong pen and then it will come off in the rain. But most of these beans I'm going to try and plant outside. There's one variety I've tried for the last 3 years, planting it outside, and it's not really done any good at all, and that's the Metro ramp kind of bean, which is kind of a long bean that you generally grow for the pods, and you can use them great in stir fries, Chinese dishes, those sort of things. So I thought I would run through all of the particular beans that I'm planning on planting over the next couple of days. I probably won't plant them all tonight because I'm kind of losing the light a little bit now. It's about 7 o'clock at night, so I'm starting to lose the light. But I thought I would get the smaller beans, the bush beans, kind of out of the way, and hopefully start trying to get some of the runner beans away as well. So the things I'm going to be planting this year are going to be some bush beans. So we've got the Purple Queen. That is a nice purple bean, grows on a kind of a bush about this sort of size. Doesn't need a pole to climb up or anything like that. And again, you get some quite good plants from these. Plenty of pods on the plant. The actual bean itself, you generally eat the pod. So, but the bean itself is kind of a brownish colour. So the Metro bean I'm going to try and grow is this Metro Rosato, which I think must mean red or scarlet or something. I'll show pictures on the screen of all of these beans, but this one is a bright red bean, and again these got these really nice long pods to the actual bean. The other bush bean I'm going to grow, which I've actually distributed quite widely to some of the other YouTubers, and I'm hoping you guys out there will plant this along with me. Everything that I got off the plants last year I kept for sowing again this year. So I've got quite a few of the Independence bean. So the Independence bean was the bean that was kindly sent to me from Paula over in Poland. It's called the Polish Independence bean because at the time of the Russian occupation of Poland after the war, the Russians banned the growing of this bean for some reason, but it was maintained and kept going by the people of Poland. So it looks like a soldier bean. So soldier beans generally have a little black, what looks like a little black soldier on the edge of it. This one is red and it looks more like the Polish eagle, hence why it's called the Polish Independence bean. Other bush beans I'm going to grow are the dragon tongue beans. So I'll show a picture of the dragon tongue pods. Absolutely gorgeous flavour. They generally don't keep their colour when you cook them though. They generally kind of lose that mottled effect that they have on the pods. But raw, they're really, really tasty and they're really nice in stir fries and things like that. But again, nice bush bean to grow. And again, I'll put a picture up in the corner. The other beans that I've got are all the ones that I saved for myself from last year, and I've got a mixture of cave beans. So it's the white ones that kind of look a little bit mottled. They almost look like little cows. I've always thought they were almost like a cow kind of mottling. We've got the Old Mother Stoddard beans, which are this kind of nice multicoloured bean. I've got the Jade portal bean. So the Jade portal beans are again a bean that is a pole bean. It'll grow up a pole, but again you grow it for these nice kind of green coloured beans. And these can be used in a variety of different things, kind of 3 bean curries, all those sort of things, 3 bean chilies, and they can be added to stews, and just generally they are absolutely tasty in pretty much almost anything you put them in. Absolutely great with rice. You put them into a nice rice and peas kind of, I'm getting them all dirty now. Put them in a kind of a nice rice and peas kind of dish. Absolutely fantastic. I've got the Cherokee Trail of Tears beans. So these ones originally were from Baker Creek. The beans in here are my self-seeded, or my saved seeds from last year. And again, these are absolutely pitch black, gorgeous little beans. These are fantastic with in rice. They look really good. You get that stark white of the rice, and you get these nice little black beans dispersed throughout it. Again, it's a pole bean, grows up a vine, and they are absolutely fantastic. The Trail of Tears beans is named after the Cherokee Trail of Tears. Have a look at the have a look on Google. Give Trail of Tears a Google, and you get the idea as potentially where these beans come from. There's kind of quite a horrible story attached to these beans, really. That Trail of Tears wasn't a really good thing in the American history, but have a look. And then the last thing I've got is a couple of varieties of Rhonnda beans. Again, saved seeds from last year. You don't generally have to keep buying seeds every year. These saved seeds do really, really well from year to year, as long as you dry them properly. Let them dry off completely before you put them in a bag or anything. Otherwise they'll rot, and you get mold all over them and things like that. The other variety of bean I've got, again, is one that I was sent. Can't remember who sent them to me. I will find out. Stick it in the corner. And these are the Ronda Black Rhonnda bean. Again, I'll show you a nice picture. But these are absolutely fantastic looking things. It's like a mega version of the Trail of Tears beans, but it's a proper Rhonnda bean. So I was going to say I've got 10 of those. I think I might have just dropped one. Mr. Clumsy as ever. So I'll plant those as well, and then hopefully we can get some decent Ronda Black beans. I'm guessing they come from Wales, named after the Rhonnda. So what I'm going to do first then is I'm going to make sure I get the Independence beans nicely planted. And I'm going to, like I say, I've got some Levington F1 in here. It's a seed compost. Beans have a lot of substance to them. They don't need a lot of extra nutrients in the soil to start growing. They don't need any at all. So the main purpose of this really is to get them going. That being said, they could probably stay in these, because these are kind of root trainer kind of modules, so they could probably stay in here till they go out. It's just a case of just making sure you keep an eye on them. If you've got the roots and stuff coming out the bottom, maybe think about putting them into the ground. But let's see how we get on. So I've got about probably 20 of these Independence beans. I'm going to say, if I've sent you any of these, please grow them. I want to try and keep this bean variety growing. The only place I could get them was from Poland, and it was only the fact that Paula sent them to me that I'm able to actually grow these at all. So thanks again, Paula, for that. But hopefully let's get these into these little modules. I'm just going to use a Sharpie just make a little hole in the top. And these, like a lot of seeds, will find their way. You don't have to put them a certain way around. I'm not going to plan on doing too much with these. Just a case of put them in, cover them over, bit of a water, and away they'll go, hopefully. So we'll make a few holes. I could use my finger for this, painted finger method, but the end of the Sharpie is just as good. Okay, so we'll figure out how many we're planting. I might leave a couple just in case. I'm hoping I'm not going to basically lose this crop. Although if you get an infestation of black fly or something like that, it's very possible to lose a lot of plants very, very quickly. Right, so we'll drop them in the hole. Give them a nice little push down a little bit. Okay. I will probably leave a couple of these kind of emergency spares. Okay. We'll maybe get 3 or 4 rows out of this. Okay, I've got 3 left. So those are my emergency independence beans, and I've planted 21 beans. So hopefully we can get some decent plants. Okay, so that's independence bean. Okay, so again, make sure you label everything. We'll give these a cover over with some more of the Levington F1. I've got a bit in the tray here, and hopefully these should start growing quite quickly. There we go, nicely in. Okay, so that's the independence bean, nicely planted, and we'll go ahead, plant the rest of the beans, and hopefully we should have some decent plants from these very, very quickly. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to a nice harvest of these. I'll probably end up giving some of these to the wife for her plot at the other end there. She likes growing runner beans and things like that as well, so we'll see how it goes. Got to get a few structures up to actually grow these plants up. So I've got the Acocha as well, and that needs to grow up things. If my Corella ever grows, it might not. It might need a bit of heat to germinate. I'm going to bring it down here, and it's going to get planted up the other side of the poison garden fence here. So plenty to do still, plenty of plants to get going. So it's going to be a long season. Hopefully, it's going to be a good season. Fingers crossed, at least. Anyway, I've got these little tiny flies flying around. I'm hoping I don't get bitten. Right, we'll leave that there. We'll keep coming back to these. I'll show you how they're growing, and we'll see what happens. Right, all the best then, guys. Take care. Bye bye.